Hamlin, Josh Berry making up the front row. And we're racing in Music City, USA.
Hamlin with a very aggressive move to block Josh Berry to take that first spot.
Didn't take long for Christopher Bell to also slide up in front of the four of Berry. And so Berry's dropped back to third and under pressure now. Here comes Larson. He's going to try to take the spot away. Brad Keselowski in the 6 on the inside. Kyle Larson in the 5 on the outside. Early in the run, Jeff, where's the preferred line?
Yeah, I think this early in the race, you want to be on the bottom of the racetrack. That's where the most grip is. That's going to change, though, Steve, as the rubber gets run into the racetrack.
Yeah, the groove is absolutely going to change as we see the field go through 1 and 2 right here. You're going to see a car slow on the left-hand side in front of the leaders. That's the 51 of Justin Haley. Failed inspection. They were caught adjusting their car after inspection. They had to do a pass-through. The penalty served nearly a lap down already.
And a big gap already. Hamlin in front of Bell, then Larson, Keselowski, and Reddick.
You know, Jeff, you talk about the preferred groove. I'll argue the preferred groove is wherever your car handles the best. We kept hearing drivers say the track will widen out. Well, they mean the options as we see 3 wide, right? Noah Gragson and that orange and blue car at the bottom, stuck in the middle, I believe is the 1 of Ross Chastain up top, the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. Bass Pro Shops inside and outside of the Busch Light Chevrolet.
Michael McDowell that loves 34 saying, hey, wait a minute, I want to get part of this.
When you're going to start to see the outside and the middle lane is going to start to get better. All the dust, debris, all that ends up in the middle lanes when the track sits overnight. Typically the bottom is the way to go, but it will start changing.
Riding along in the Toyota onboard with Corey Heim. And Corey Heim, one of those drivers who's had an excellent career in the Truck Series, but very little experience in the Cup Series.
And just this view right here down on the bumper, look at the color change from the straightaways to the corner. That's because when the cars go into the corner, pushing that lateral load smears that Goodyear tire rubber into the concrete. It rubbers up the racetrack. Very light down the straightaways, very dark in the corners.
Downshift there as we ride along with Corey.
I love this shot right there. You see like the car really working. Oh, a little defensive move. Corey LaJoie throws the block on, I believe that's the 14 it is, of Chase Briscoe. The Rush Truck Center's Ford. A little bit different color scheme this week.
Big move on the outside as we see that 14 of Briscoe getting passed by a teammate, Ryan Preece, in the 41.
So Ryan Preece willing to jump up there in that third lane. And if he's able to start making that work, then the information is going to just flow through the field. Hey, the top's starting to work. You can change lanes to try to make flat passes. That's what Preece is trying to do in that silver and black car.
Thornton's on board here of Kyle Busch. And Kyle Busch has had great success at this racetrack in the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series, but not on the Cup side yet.
Think about Kyle Busch, though. Talking a 2-time champ. You know, it has definitely not been a great year for Kyle Busch, but this is the type of competitor, Jeff, if you have to race against him, you want to keep him down. You don't want to let this 8 figure something out or get a little momentum. There's just too much firepower behind the wheel. If they gain some instant confidence, we were talking about them out of the playoffs, they could become a favorite in the playoffs if they could get there.
Well, and when you put a guy like that and you start making him feel like an underdog, he doesn't like that. He wants to be the guy that people consider the favorite. So he's a little down emotionally at the moment. Who wouldn't be? A little bit of confidence will go a long way.
A new leader in Nashville. That's Christopher Bell and 20 out in front. Denny Hamlin has fallen back to second, and I'm pretty confident that Justin Haley's not going to be getting a Christmas card from Denny Hamlin this season after the way he was racing him. So Haley was just in front. Now he's almost about to go a lap down, and this is what happened and how the lead changed.
Yeah, Haley got really loose right there. Denny had to check up, trying to go around him, and Christopher Bell had momentum. And he will send a Christmas card, Justin Haley.
One off the list, one on the list.
But you can't blame Haley. I mean, he's trying to stay in the lead lap. I mean, you're not supposed to just lay over and give it to him. And yeah, the car got around on him a little bit, but you know, being in a lead lap versus not, that is a massive difference. So I don't blame Justin Haley one bit.
So again, Haley is now the first car a lap down. And Chad Fincham just went a lap down also.
Yeah, that's that 66 car right there. The 51 wants to get by the 66, put him back in position for the free pass if we do see a yellow.
So Bell is out front. Denny Hamlin now has fallen back to second. Dave, was the radio maybe a little early pit stops taking place here as we see the Ally 48 of Alex Bowman making his way to you, Dave?
Tight initial throttle. That is the word from the driver. So when he gets into the turn and he wants to go back to the gas, the car wants to shoot towards the wall. They'll make an adjustment for that here. 4 Goodyear tires and fuel. Marty?
All for Kyle Busch. He came to pit road on the very early side of the window to get this stop out of the way. But here's what happened when he came to a stall. He slid through the stall, had to back up. That's going to cost him some track position as he heads back out. Early window here, Steve. Are you surprised they're pitting here, working lap 38?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised, right? If you pit right now, that means you put 38 laps on your tires. You're going to have to run 52 to the finish. And the reason it surprises me is they're just not slowing down much on old tires, Kim.
And for Brad Keselowski, no major complaints, so no major changes. They're going to take 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel on this green flag stop for Brad Keselowski.
That's really why you don't see a busier pit road. At some tracks, Rick, one car pits and they all pit. But they're really kind of dropping in 1 or 2 a lap. Not as busy as some tracks. We'll see now the leaders, the yellow car right there, and the 11 of Denny Hamlin, Kim, both on pit road.
Yeah, let's follow the stop of Christopher Bell. Despite being under weather and not feeling great, that car feeling very good. Christopher said, my only complaint is just a little bit free on entry. You see the right side tires going on, 4 fresh Goodyear stakes, Sunoco fuel.
Teammate Denny Hamlin and former leader of this race, a little free on exit. He steps on the gas. The back end wants to come around on this Toyota Camry. So 4 tires here, air pressure adjustment, and full of fuel to get him back on the road.
We'll see right here, Denny Hamlin. I think he would have been scored in front of the 20 under yellow, but under green, you got to get back up to speed. So the 20 of Christopher Bell doing his job, the pit crew doing their job. They will maintain what will be the lead of cars that have pitted. But remember, we have some who have stayed on the racetrack, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if some run really long to see if they can get a lucky break and get a yellow.
The gap before the pit stop started was about 1 second between the 20 and the 11 cars. We see the 41 and the 99 making their way onto pit road. It's like Harrison Burton as well in the 21 on pit road. Kim.
And that green Interstate Batteries Toyota of Ty Gibbs. Ty complaining just way too tight. I need more rear stability. As 3, 2, 1 into the box, and service will start for him, Dave, as Daniel Suarez making his stop.
His car was good in clean air, but a little bit loose on the exit of the corner, so he'll get the 4 tires with that air pressure adjustment, and he's gone.
Continue to cycle through with these pit stops. Tyler Reddick, William Byron, Martin Truex Jr., Michael McDowell, Corey LaJoie, drivers that have not come to pit road yet.
Yeah, so what they're looking for is we see Christopher Bell, the first car who has pitted and returned to the racetrack as far as will be the leader. What the 45 of Tyler Reddick is hoping for is a caution. Right now he's leading the race. There are only 15 cars on the lead lap. He has a bunch of cars a lap down. He can kind of change the whole outcome of the race. The reason it's less risky here is because we saw 30.6 second lap times. Now they're running like 31.4, so 0.8 of a second slower. There are some tracks, Marty, where we see 2, 3, 4 seconds.
NASCAR Drive, that's your live race day companion. You can follow your favorite drivers with access to their in-car cameras, or you can choose from alternate camera angles and customize your streaming experience. Visit NASCAR.com/drive or download the NASCAR mobile app today. Make sure to scan the QR code for your chance to win a new Camaro and VIP race weekend from Ally and HendrickCars.com. Right now, Alex Bowman currently running in the 15th position. McDowell still on the racetrack. Stenhouse Jr. hasn't come to pit road. Stenhouse Jr. is running in the 11th spot. Gilliland, another one who hasn't come to pit road, as well as Justin Haley in the 51.
So we'll see what this cycle looks like. McDowell absolutely has to pit. That will give the lead to Bell, who has a little over 1 second to Hamlin, then Larson, Reddick, and Keselowski for the end of the stage. We're on board with Stenhouse right here. Does a nice job coming to pit road, really controlled.
Again, he was running just outside the top 10 on this strategy.
Talked a lot from Marty.
Mike Kelly always willing to roll the dice on some strategy. He's a crew chief for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. They ran very long here, so eventually, Steve, you're going to see everyone on the B strategy, if you will. They're going to have to come to pit road, and this is the penalty, right? They have to wait a long time there on fuel.
Yeah, you don't have to wait on fuel. They chose to, and that will leave them the option right at the end of the stage. They probably could stay on the racetrack, take the wave around, and not pit. So it gets a little complicated. Just kind of follow along and see how your drivers do. I like that Stenhouse is trying something different. This is a team that are looking to try to shake something up to make the playoffs, and I think off strategy is a good call.
Artisano Hawaiian bred on board with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., giving us those onboard looks from his car today.
There you go. Hand out the window for the 34 McDowell, who'll be coming to pit road. Not a straightforward entry. It's kind of a tough transition, Jeff, off the banking.
Yeah, it's a very tough pit road. It's actually continuing around.
Oh, I saw the hand out the window, so something changed for sure.
One more as we see Justin Haley on pit road.
I think that's why the 51 is pitting in front of the 34. Excuse me, behind the 34. So they didn't want Micah McDowell to come around the 51, just trying to get organized on pit lane. So let's try that one more time. 34 coming to pit lane right here. Hopefully the 22 knows it. He's going to catch him fast on the brakes. 51 will get out of the stall. There you go. That's how it's supposed to work.
Exactly. It's so much speed and not having to go around a car. And it's easy to get blocked. It's easy to go through your pit stall. So just waiting a lap was probably the smart thing to do there.
That was the reboot indeed. He had his hand out the window. He was coming, and they said the 51 is going to be on and off of pit road. So we need you to go one more. The car started loose on the race. It stayed loose throughout the run for Michael McDowell, but not terrible. 4 tires full of fuel here. His teammate also in Todd Gilliland. He was on the same plan.
They were waiting on fuel there.
Yeah, pretty standard. You can only get about 14 gallons in 4 tires, but these hold 20. So when you run a full fuel run, you have to wait on fuel. This really is the conversation now. A lot of strategy conversation while closing in on 10 to go. It's Bell versus Hamlin to win the stage. Hamlin has closed down to just a couple car lengths on Bell, making a run here, Rick.
Big run. Now look to the outside. We'll see if he ducks back to the inside to see if he can get the advantage on his teammate.
And new tires coming from behind. We just saw the 51 car on pit road. He's got a little bit newer tires, so that's going to complicate this battle.
And Denny probably isn't feeling so good about the 51 anyway, because he was the one who was in front of him when the 20 took the lead away from him.
You can see how hard it is to pass. What did Denny Hamlin say when I asked him what his biggest challenge was today? He said passing cars, getting by them. You see Christopher Bell having a tough time getting by the 41 Aprice. Just cannot clear him with 10 to go in the stage.
And Justin Haley on the 51 is 2 laps down. So this is kind of his race. He has got to get back to 1 lap down to have a chance to kind of make things happen.
And to do that, he's got to get in front of the 20. But he's going to have to get by the 11 of Denny Hamlin. And Denny Hamlin obviously is working to get by the 20 as well.
The bottom is the 9th, the battle for 9th between Truex and Bubba Wallace. We're hearing from the 23. Something in the right rear just doesn't feel great. We're not sure if it's a wheel or a tire, but Bubba definitely losing a little time with those complaints.
On the top of the screen, this is getting very interesting. Ryan Preece in that 41 is racing right now very hard against Christopher Bell. Priest does not want to go a lap down to Bell, but Bell is trying to get past him to put him a lap down. And while all of that is happening between Bell and Priest, Denny Hamlin is trying to catch up to Bell to pass him for potentially the lead, maybe the win of stage 1. But he has Justin Haley on fresher tires that's trying to get by both of them.
Oh, up the racetrack for Bell. It's frustrating when you're the leader. You're trying to put a guy a lap down. You're like, hey, buddy, man, you know, let me go here. But that's just not going to happen. And I don't blame Priest. You gotta go for all you have right here.
This is why we make so much of the strategy. You know, the leaders just don't drive by cars. Track position matters.
Watch Christopher Bell. He drives in the corner. And instead of just staying on the bottom, he's up the racetrack trying to get Priest to give up the spot. Ryan's like, nah, I'll stay right here.
Stay right in front of him.
Man, look, Priest is a hard racer. He is used to tight battles, races modifieds, grew up racing them, and he doesn't mind a little door banging. He's accustomed to it.
So again, the 41 of Priest and the 51 of Haley, they're kind of in the mix of the battle for the lead here, but they're not battling for the lead.
And on a hot day with a full grandstand here at Nashville, these fans that came out and bared the heat, they are in for a treat. There's battles like this all around the racetrack. I mean, this is for the race lead, and a big tight squeeze for the 41 to try to get underneath the 66 of Fincham.
Yeah, so Chad Fincham comes into the mix here as Denny Hamlin's going to go by him. But here comes that 51 of Haley. He's going to try to unlap at least one lap down if he can get by the 20.
And way in the front of this group, right there, that purple car, that's Daniel Suarez. He has loved this battle that was behind him. That's allowed him to gap the 20 car a little bit, trying to stay in the lead lap.
It was a tough start for that 51 with the infraction after inspection that caused them to give up their starting position. But we've seen moves like this. We have seen speed out of the 51 and Rick Ware Racing building this organization. They've really committed not just to drivers like Justin Haley, but Jeff, you and I talk a lot. They committed to engines, chassis, aero, and you're seeing good speed.
Pit crews, all the stuff it takes to compete at a high level. Rick has been willing to make the investment.
It was a year ago when we heard Justin Haley was going to make the move from Colleague Racing to Rick Ware Racing. A lot of people are scratching their head thinking, you know, is that a move that's going to advance his career? But I think we're seeing that Rick Ware Racing has really invested in this team and made a great opportunity for Justin Haley.
Yeah, and Priest, we've been talking about him trying to stay in the lead lap. He's not going to do it, but Haley getting in front of Bell, now that puts him the first car lap down, so he'll be able to take the wave around when this caution comes about and get back in the lead lap.
If he can hold Bell off, Bell kind of making a charge. And sometimes, you know, I wonder if whatever Bell's balance is, once he got behind the 51, the car almost looks like it drives a little better, like the shift has helped him.
Remember, he just gained one of the laps back.
Right,
Haley was 2 laps back.
That's the key, though.
Yeah.
You can't be 2 down. You have to get back to the only 1 down.
And now Bell right in his tire tracks again as Hamlin with under 2 laps to go trying to clear the 41 of Ryan Priest to get up there and contend for this stage win.
You saw the low grip of the back of the 11. He chased it up the racetrack. Had to kind of get out of the gas.
Final lap of stage 1. Differing strategies all up and down the field. Bell and Hamlin running 1-2. Larson and Reddick 3-4. Brad Keselowski is 5th. Ty Gibbs 6th. William Byron, Buescher, Truex Jr., and Bubba Wallace all inside the top 10 right now, hoping to get stage points. And off of 4, it's going to be Christopher Bell. He won the Xfinity race and the Cup race in Iowa, or excuse me, New Hampshire a week ago. And now he wins stage 1 here in Nashville. That's the 8th stage win already this season. 11 on the inside, 20 on the outside. Keselowski back in the 5th position on the restart. There's TJ Majors.
Go, 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 go. Hey, just driving off the 45. No pressure on that 24. 1 outside, 2 outside. 2 outside, 45, sliding up the blind. They're 2 wide now, just 2 by 2 here. Outside. Still there. Still going to be lined up. Can I get you up after him? Still there, door. Nothing behind him. Clear up by 2. By 1, outside, 24. Still there. Bumper clear up, all good. Clear, all good. By 4, room to play here. By 3, all good. In your track, 3 back. Good corner. Clear by 4, room to give.
TJ Majors, by the way, is wearing a cool shirt as well. He said that Texas a year ago was so hot, they thought if they could do something with a portable suit that would work, he would try it. And so they went to work. He started researching it, found out that actually a lot of doctors and surgeons use a cool shirt like that in surgery to keep their core temperature cool and give them more of an ability to focus on what they're doing. So even TJ Majors wearing a cool suit here as well.
That's the surgeon that I want. Brad Keselowski, you saw he got a good run, middle of 3 and 4. Truex, back of his car was not settled into the racetrack. Brad used that momentum to take this spot. And already, look how that bottom of the racetrack is starting to get black again with the rubber being driven into it.
11 laps complete of a 95-lap stage, kind of rinse and repeat what we saw in the first stage. When teams pit, I think it's going to be a wide window. Some will pit early, some will stay out. We'll just cover it as we go.
Elliott trying to get by Bubba Wallace. Riding along with Busher and the BuildSubmarines.com on board.
Just running in 11th position.
Caution is out here in Nashville, and it's yesterday's Xfinity Series winner, John Hunter Nemechek, that slid off of turn 4 and into the infield grass. Take a look.
He's running 37th. You can see the back of the pack, so struggling with his race car. Just trying to find some speed. The grip isn't there. Car goes around. I thought he was going to get stuck in the grass, but just stayed in it and kept rolling just enough to get him back on the asphalt and the concrete.
And into Trey Poole, spotter for the 9.
In green flag. Run to use 19, tight ahead. You're going to have a run on entry here. 2, 3, you're 3 top here. 3 top, 3 or 4. 4, 1 outside, clear outside, 1. 2 bottom, now just 1, 54 inside. Just 1 inside here. 3 wide in front of you here, staggered 3 on entry, staggered 3, staggered 3, staggered 3, even 3 here, even 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 77 inside on 2, 3 wide, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, clear bottom, just 1 outside the 5. Still there, clear by half, all good on exit, use it. No run to you, clear by 1, you're good on entry.
Boy, you listen to that, it's crazy to realize this is Trey Poole's first full-time season spotting in the NASCAR Cup Series. And to add to that, he's Chase Elliott's cousin. I asked Alan Gustafson, what do you think about how he's done so far in year 1? He said, honestly, it's been pretty amazing what he's done, and he's picked it up so quickly. He was only a part-time spotter before this, Rick, but he's doing a fantastic job as a rookie full-time spotter.
Yeah, so much to do, and we were able to listen in. What a great listen that was to Trey Poole and how he was negotiating for Chase Elliott to see behind him while he kept his eyes focused in front. Oh, and around goes to 54. Gibbs slides into the grass. The caution comes out.
Rolling out to the asphalt here. Rolling out to the asphalt. Right here.
So Gibbs, coming off of 4, may have had some help there. As he slid down into the grass, we'll have to take a look and see how that started.
Yeah, he's on the bottom underneath the 48 coming up. The 48's all the way against the wall. So really, I think Ty just needed the racetrack. Obviously, he was having some handling concerns, either loose and didn't dare turn the wheel or tight. It's hard to tell.
Get rolling again.
10 out. 5, 10, green flag. Tight, tight ahead, tight behind. 5's right with you, quarter off of you. You're 3 mid if you stay there. 3 mid. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, stagger 3. Clear up, all clear right here. 24 run to you, he is cleared. Still there, door, quarter. 24 your lane, 1 back, door, quarter, door, back door. All good there. All clear.
You know what I really like about Trey Poole is he doesn't say anything, even when cars are side by side, when he knows Chase can see him. They have this confidence level where I'm not going to talk. You know that car's there. You can see it. I'm going to say enough. Plus, normally spotters are so calm. He gets a little animated. It gives me hope that maybe in my retired life I can be a spotter. Get a little animated as well. Be a lot of talking. You're going to have to be okay with a lot of words.
Saw Carson Hocevar in the 77. He was running down on the bottom of the racetrack there. Bell still in front of, now it's Tyler Reddick. Larson in that 3rd position. Keselowski and Elliott in the top 5.
One back to the 38 with you.
Ominous clouds, the backdrop here at Nashville Super Speedway. When these drivers racing with the anticipation that at some point in time they know the yellow flag's going to come out either from precipitation or possibly lightning in the area. This run is coming through.
It's a great shot right here, Corey Heim. Racing Austin Cindric. Now he's side by side with him. He sees in front of him is double wide, so he knows now that this pass will be even more difficult.
We are limited right now on some of our camera angles that we can show to you because of lightning in the area. Now we're seeing the caution come out. Some of our camera operators had to come off of scaffolding and off of their elevated positions, and that's why we were going to more of the onboard cameras there, or maybe the robotics. And you're seeing now the weather coming in, affecting this race. The caution has come out. There's the radar. This is what these teams have been seeing over the last 25-30 minutes.
Go, go, go. 45 lost, 20 bumper already. Just line up bottom here, 9.5 off of you. One inside, just Chris here. Driving off the 9 of your mirror, keep him in your track. You're good. Just driving off Chris down there. Door, pulling him. Bumper, clear, all clear. He's under attack from the 9 here. They're side by side. Better cover the bottom, cover the bottom. One back a lane higher to Chris, half back, cover it, keep him in your mirror. Keep him in your mirror. Alright, now just grab the tape for me here, it'll hurt the 9 to help Chris here. By 2. Here we go, by 2 over both lanes. Perfect. By 3.
Very interesting. Chris Buescher, obviously the teammate to Brad Keselowski, and TJ Majors is really spotting to help Chris Buescher as well.
Good battle. We talked about the concern will the outside lane come in this early in the run. Seems like they have a pretty good amount of confidence that it's got grip in there.
They stay side by side for that 5th position. Elliott and Buescher.
Oh, wiggle out of the 17 of Buescher.
Look at Ray Byron. almost into the wall. William Byron has to catch it. He was right behind Buescher.
And that started with Buescher. Buescher has a wiggle, goes up the track. It kind of gets the 24 checked up, and then right behind the 17, right in that dirty wake, you try to offset, and that's what drives the 24 up, Jeff.
Yeah, see, up the racetrack. Now he gets in that on the dirty racetrack you talked about, and to be honest with you, I'm surprised he didn't hit the wall. I mean, it shows you how clean the racetrack is up there, and that's probably because we just had all the jet dryers on there, and it blew all that debris down the racetrack. Had that happened later in this race, he probably is wrecked.
He was in the 7th position before having to catch that race car. And that's the first time that he's ever done it in his career.
It's an odd look out of the 54. The back of it was kind of dancing around a little.
You can see his hands inside the race car. Wearing white gloves. See how much wheel movement he has. Car looks like it's a little bit loose.
Looking to the inside now as Gibbs trying to take that spot back from Gregson. Not able to throw it into turn 3 as deep as Gregson. Under 2 laps to go. Pit road is closed as Bell can't quite complete the pass on the 3 of Austin Dillon, trying to put him a lap down. And the fight for that 10th position continues. That's a point at the end of the stage. One more time around for Bell, who's door to door right now with Dillon. Dillon fighting to stay on the lead lap. And out of 4, that is going to be a sweep of the stages for Christopher Bell. It's the 4th time that he's swept the first 2 stages of a race. He definitely wants to change history when maybe not so happy between Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson.
Denny radioed that he was okay, he's going to get him.
Grab at him later.
That's right, they're radioing to his driver to calm down, but Denny said I was going to get him. Didn't like something about the way that Kyle Larson raced him.
It's interesting, these 2 are friends off the racetrack, but on the racetrack it doesn't look it. And right at the finish line, the 5 gets by. Apparently Hamlin not too happy about that.
Disagreeing for 10th or 15th is normally the lead.
Teammates up front as we get ready to go back to racing for the final stage. Hamlin, Bell back into the gas. A great restart for Christopher Bell. Tyler Reddick in the 45 trying to follow him on the bottom of the racetrack and clear that 11 of Hamlin.
And you can feel the intensity. Bell looks clean out front, but back too wide through the field.
Reddick not able to clear the 11. Again, that's his boss. Denny Hamlin, co-owner of 2311, who Tyler Reddick drives for.
Denny up the track, but you see the available grip. That wide exit looks odd. It looks like he's out of the groove, but there's still the grip to accelerate.
Yeah, he never lifted, did he?
He stays on the gas here as he tries to stay to the outside of the 45.
What a great battle between these 2 guys. Tyler Reddick trying to just paint his left side tires on that bottom line. Go back to the throttle as quickly as he can. Now starting to use a little more racetrack.
Oh, the 34 McDowell really high and out of the groove, but continuing to slow.
I believe we have a tire down.
There you go, tire down on the radio.
You guys here?
Left sides. Yeah, left sides are up, right sides are up. Maybe it's a vibration or maybe just stuff on the tires.
Yeah. Or here, we'll go with the fifth.
Oh, you heard the drive line. won't go into fifth, so they go from fourth to fifth during the lap. McDowell reports it won't shift correctly.
Reddick completes the pass on Hamlin for that second spot.
And as we look
here, I'm not sure what you want me to do. I can keep trying to get in fifth, but it won't go.
So he's basically stuck. If you have to run only fourth gear, you have to lift at the end of the straightaways. You can't even run top speed. And if you look at the rundown, the cars we talked about in practice, it's taken 196 laps. Hamlin was great in practice, third. Blaney showed great speed, fourth. Keselowski, fifth. And Truex, been a quiet day, but he looked great in practice. Here he is in sixth.
You see Michael McDowell and the telemetry there, not able to stay in the gas, so he starts to fall off the pace now. Reddick on the outside. Denny Hamlin in that second row. Hamlin trying to make a 3 wide. Contact made. Far up into the wall behind them. And that's the 43 of Eric Jones. Caution comes out once again.
Front blew or fell off.
Denny Hamlin seems to be racing a little more aggressively now. So I'm getting into the side of the 20 of Bell, fighting for the lead. Eric Jones in the 43 has a right front down.
There was some radio, whether it was like he thought maybe the wheel came off or something like that. I see the wheel nut. So the wheel nut is still there. So the wheel is still attached. I don't know if it came loose or if the tire just went flat. Either way, right at the top of the screen, you see why he says it, just straight at the racetrack.
It seems like he never had control of the car.
Here in the race.
Ready.
Really good restart there again for Denny Hamlin. Let's see if he can capitalize on that speed going into one. But here comes Blaney. What a run he has. 3 wide as they're fighting for that third position.
And Truex with a great run on the very top of the racetrack up to third.
Side by side for the lead. Reddick on the inside, Bell on the outside. Here comes that 11 of Hamlin. He's able to clear the 19 of Martin Truex Jr.
That's a power move by the 11, too, to just roll the bottom. Look at this big block. See how they figure it out on corner entry.
Carson Hocevar in the 77 in the middle. Logano's on the outside, but the aggressive move was the 50 there by Corey Heim.
Still side by side for the lead.
Oh, a little bit of run right here by Reddick. Now the 20 of Bell has forward momentum.
It's amazing they can run side by side yet still keep that car length gap back to the 11. You would think the 11 would be able to close right in, but both cars able to create some great lap times.
This is where Reddick was a little better the last time around these corners. Just a little bit of pace right there. This time Bell able to stay right with him.
A year ago, it was 3 wide for the lead for multiple laps. 2 wide for the lead now between Reddick and Bell.
See Bell right against Reddick through the corner, not running up the racetrack, trying to run the lowest possible line he can.
And Nick, this didn't happen 5 years ago. No way did you see this many laps at a high-speed track between the side draft or the outside car making the inside car loose. They just didn't have the ability to run side by side. Now we're seeing continuous laps. I don't think Denny knows which lane he's looking for.
Bell shifted down in there that corner. He drove it way down in the corner, but it hurt him on corner exit.
Oh, a wreck behind him. We see the 9 of Chase Elliott, Rick.
Sliding into the grass. Caution comes out for the 8th time.
Easy.
Couldn't see what happened. I just saw at the top of the screen he kind of got spun out of line. I don't know if it was on his own or if he had help.
He's running in 6th position. Here he is in the 2nd lane. Everything looks fine right there, but around it goes. And that's the razor's edge that these drivers are on.
As we get ready for the restart, Allmendinger on the outside.
Ready.
75 laps remain here in Nashville. Again, the 5 cars up front all stayed out on the racetrack when the others on the lead lap came to pit road. And a few falling back early on this restart.
That 42 car in the middle of John Hunter Nemechek, it's missing a right front fender. So I understand that it's lacking the pace. Joey Logano, though, bottom 3 wide. That bright yellow 22 inside of Chastain and Bubba Wallace.
Chastain surging ahead of the 22 and 23. Take that spot, but here comes Logano and way up the racetrack.
Ty Gibbs was on the cushion.
Yeah, he was right up against the wall. Riding along with Chris Buescher. So how does this strategy work out for Blaney, Allmendinger, LaJoie, Chastain, Logano? Do they have to run a long ways?
Oh, Christopher Bell
Don't have
around. Big damage on the 20.
Huge hit for Christopher Bell. Caution has come back out again.
Broken toe link.
The dominant car today led 132 laps, and Bell now wrecked. He was running 15.
Yeah,
I don't have any power either.
Doesn't have any power. He got cycled back to 15th between the strategy calls. Let's see what happens.
Austin Dillon making it 3 wide. Oh, he just gets loose. He's all by himself.
56 laps remain.
Green. Pushing up.
Four wide as they come into turn 1. And a lot of beating and banging back here, fighting for track position. Allmendinger, Chastain, 1, 2, 3. Fourth still being contested. Bubba Wallace and Corey LaJoie. LaJoie on the inside, Bubba Wallace on the outside. Maybe a little contact made there exiting 2.
Whoa, LaJoie's loose. Can Logano get a run and make it 3 wide? He's going to try to push the 23. No, there he goes. Big block by LaJoie. That completely messes up the angle for Logano, but he's still able to make pace. Oh, hurts him on the corner exit.
3 wide behind him. And Josh Berry running into the side of the 7 of LaJoie. Berry staying up here inside the top 10. That's Kyle Busch in the 8s on the inside of the 45, now on the inside of the 7. And right now, the top 4, with the exception of Chastain, are saving as much fuel as they can. Blaney can't make it.
I think that's a great point, Rick. I don't believe there's any way the 12 can make it. Allmendinger is thinking fuel. Chastain, I believe, thinks he can make it, and he is pushing Allmendinger. He's not going to let the 16 save any gas. On board with Chastain, the Busch light came. He's been looking to the right rear quarter panel of the 16 once again, rolling that second lane, doing a really nice job with middle corner speed. Just can't quite get there. A little bit of a run here, though.
Will he go to the bottom of the racetrack to try to get by Allmendinger? He's not able to clear him there, but he goes to the high side, Dave.
Going to try to make the high side work there. As you see the 3 wide there between LaJoie, Busch, and Hamlin. Hamlin's going to take the inside as well. As for Chastain, took 2 tires on that last stop to get his track position. The car's a little bit tight, but Ross is now making that pass. That's for second place.
Ross trying to go back-to-back here at Nashville, won a year ago. And now moves up into the 2nd spot, man. More than likely has enough fuel to make it all the way to the end of this one, where Blaney is still very questionable.
Now, with Chastain taking rights, you know, there could be a chance that it's not completely full. You know, we assume, looking at math, it's good, but we saw Ryan Blaney run out of gas on the last lap at St. Louis. So remember, you know, there are a lot of assumptions when you start calculating your fuel mileage. The 51, Haley's still in the mix, running 13th.
Big wiggle out of the 19 of Martin Truex Jr.
This is the previous restart. Truex and Larson. Larson up the racetrack. Lost control of his car, got in front of Truex, and Truex was not happy. A little retaliation. And believe it, oh, big spin.
Keselowski into the wall. And the 10th caution comes out.
How bad is it?
Harrison Burton also spinning around.
Wrecked, it's under caution.
Wrecked us under caution. We'll have to get a replay to see exactly who did what. A big hit by the 6, Rick. You called it, the big, long slide.
Looking like Hocevar might be the culprit as far as why the 21 was around. But let's look at the 6 and what happened here.
Yeah, outside the 3 of Dillon, down into the corner.
Oh. Just came down on Dillon. Must have thought he had him cleared.
Hurry, trying to pull you back, clear. the brakes.
It's hard because the audio, I'm not sure, is exactly lined up with the...
He just thinks he has Austin clear. Austin carrying his speed into the corner, and they make contact. Down the back straightaway.
Yeah, there's got to be more to this story because the 77 just hooks a 21.
I think NASCAR is going to like that under caution.
Yeah, there's got to be more to that story. You run.
Aggression level is rising.
Ready, green, green, green.
Denny Hamlin wastes no time, gets to the bottom 3 wide.
Oh, look
way up the racetrack.
Look at all the spots he's losing.
Blaney racing Chastain hard up front. Chastain able to clear him coming off turn 4. Allmendinger running Bubba Wallace very tight as they enter turn 1.
Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, close call there.
Yeah, so aggressive. When you get a run, you just got to take it.
Kyle Busch in the 8 ran him down the racetrack, and this is like the 4 also of Josh Berry having his hands full. Now he's got Ty Gibbs behind him, but they stay side by side with Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. Hamlin stays high. Chastain to the bottom of the racetrack.
Hamlin entered high that time, though, and that's going to give him a huge run off of 4.
Little run to you. Still lined up a little lower.
Chastain blocks
Lower.
again all the way down to the apron. Oh, a big wobble by Chastain. That opens the door. Here comes Hamlin.
Clear, clear, clear. All clear. Focus forward. Half back. Momentum U.
Very loose for Chastain in 1 and 2. Drifted up the racetrack, and Hamlin's able to get by.
That was a great race. Give it to Chastain. He gave it all he had. The back of the car just wouldn't stick for him. He's not done fighting, though. If he can get to the rear bumper of the 11 car, expect anything to happen, but I just don't see it happening. Hamlin's going to drive away from him.
Hamlin has won the last 3 concrete tracks, going for 4 in a row on this type of surface. Larson clear in 3rd. Busch continuing to run in 4th. Gibbs has got past Wallace. Wallace back to 6th. Trying to nurse that short fuel tank, trying to get to the finish.
5 laps to go. Chastain has fallen back 6 car lengths now. Larson still almost 3 seconds behind Hamlin. What a performance we're seeing out of Denny Hamlin again. The 43-year-old won the pole for this race yesterday. It was his 42nd pole.
I'm going to go fuel switch 2 here in a minute, so be ready for that.
All right, so fuel switch 2, you have the opportunity to run on 1 or 2, basically lift pumps. What he's saying is, hey, I'm not worried about it. Probably with 2 laps to go, he's going to say go to 2. He thinks he can make it on gas, but he doesn't want it to stumble. Chastain is close enough that he doesn't want it to stumble and then flip to 2 then. Just be proactive. You're not going to pit. You're either going to run out of gas or make it at this point.
And the lift pump is inside of the fuel cell.
Yes, there's one in each pickup that fills a bigger pot. Although I'm going to tell you, Chastain is not going away. Only a half a second back. You talk about that razor's edge.
Fuel switch 2 on the front stretch.
All right, on the front stretch.
Fuel switch 2.
So 2 to go. Denny will reach up, change his settings.
Here comes Chastain again, finding that high line. Man, what a turn for Denny Hamlin. 2 laps to go at Nashville.
They all think they can make it on fuel, but again, it's very close. Are the calculations right?
Denny Hamlin coming. Oh, what a slide by Austin Cindric. That brings the caution out. There'll be a restart.
Not what Hamlin wanted.
Welcome Kyle Larson. Welcome Kyle Busch.
Well, welcome
right back into the mix.
Antacids for the crew chief to make sure they can make it enough on fuel.
Oh my goodness. This was a battle for several laps. Still side by side off of turn 2. Oh, just a little contact. And when it did, it just caused Cindric to lose control. And we see that so many times where it looks like a harmless touch, but it just can shoot your car in a weird direction, and then you have to correct, and then you get yourself in trouble.
So now, Rick, we can kind of set the stage. You know, Wallace probably the biggest concern on fuel, but you know,
Hamlin on the inside, Chastain on the outside. Green flag back in the air. A big push by the 5, and up the racetrack, he catches the 1. Chastain into the wall. Big contact, caution comes out again. Gabe Hart said, I only have one chance at a green-white checkered, as we see Austin Dillon shoving the 43 of Eric Jones. Chastain, the window net down.
From having a chance to win the race to having your day done.
Hey, to Kyle Busch caught up in it as well, Rick.
We knew someone was going to make it 3 wide. But behind them was 3 wide. But that right there, just Larson gets up the racetrack. He was pushing, it looked like he was pushing Hamlin.
Something
and he just lost the front.
Something sparks, Jeff. Watch the front of the 5. I don't know if he hits the apron. Something seems to spark when it turns right. Hard to tell from that angle, but from behind, it looked like the left front might have caught the apron, really shot the 5 up the racetrack. Take a look.
He's in the back of the 11 right here. Gets on the apron. That's the splitter hitting the apron, and now it doesn't turn.
You and I were out there. That yellow paint is not on the racetrack like other racetracks. It's on the apron. So when he touches that yellow line, that is the flat.
It's like he's pushing Hamlin, trying to move him
here to the second row.
That's ridiculous.
Not sure how that happened. We'll find out, but green flag back in the air. A great start for the 11. The 5 ducked down, cut the 19, and we've got a spin in the back. Let's see if he's able to keep it straight and we stay green. 3 wide per second. Denny Hamlin pulling away. Will he have enough fuel to come all the way back around? They're wrecking behind him. The caution will come out again. There's more overtime.
Caution on the back.
Well, if there was ever a question, I would say right now,
we can win the race.
so we saw that these drivers are on fumes. We see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. coming in the 47.
Rick, you called it. The 99 was in the grass on the front stretch. He actually kept it straight, and that got the field into 1 and 2. And then off 2, the leaders were pretty organized, but back deep in the field, somebody got turned around. Let's try to take a look. I mean, it's chaos. 3 wide. The 10 goes up there. We're 4 wide right here. Oh, it's back actually behind that. I couldn't see. I was looking up some. Maybe if we see that one more time right there at the end, somebody gets into the 51. I mean, I don't. It's
Corey Himes sideways in the 50 there.
Yeah, the 51, the 50. You see Josh Berry.
Time again. 2 to go from Nashville. The 5 doesn't go. They bottle up behind him. Big wreck for the 8.
Out of fuel.
5 was out of fuel. Caution comes out again.
That's what we talked about earlier. If you run out of fuel in front of this pack, it's going to get ugly.
frustration there.
He gets a response, no matter what.
By
Victory
pull,
lane,
yes.
he gets a response. Any
Polarized.
issues? Absolutely, Rick.
He's just going to keep doing it.
Just stop.
Well, it's broke. It's broken something in probably the toe link or something, and he just couldn't get it rolling. It's been that kind of year. I mean, they caught a break in the lineup and then just not able to execute on it. And this also, how many people are just going to have to pit here?
Well, so this is starting to change the outcome very quickly. You mentioned who has to pit. Let's talk about who doesn't. So if we can put the last pit in the graphic, we're going to show you who I believe has to be feeling good. It starts with Briscoe as you hear the crowd cheer for Kyle Busch. Man, it is. So there you have it. We have Briscoe has a few more laps than the cars in front of him. Smith and LaJoie feel great. Bubba Wallace, let's remember, they bit the bullet a long time ago and pitted to put gas in that car, and here he is all the way back to 8th in that 23 car.
Let's look again at what happened. 5 just doesn't go.
Yeah, he goes to the throttle and has no fuel, so it just won't go. And Kyle Busch, just nothing he could have done, nothing anybody behind him could have done. You know, Elliott ends up spinning him around, but it's not his fault. He's expecting Larson to be going, and he can't.
Five away, still half off, ready, green. He's out of fuel, middle, pushing you. Hold the brake.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do? You said it, right? Everybody has to try to go. The 5 does a nice job of moving right to not get wrecked.
I think that we are in the position of some really difficult decisions have to be made. Logano pitted on 221. Can he afford to run out of fuel here? So many cars have damage. If you did pit, you could still claw out a reasonable finish. Gibbs is running in 24th, and he is completely torn up.
Marty, what about Kyle Larson?
He came on the radio, Rick said, I had absolutely no warning. Here comes the decision for everybody, though, Steve. Martin Truex Jr. said his car just stumbled. Do you risk it, or do you come to pit road?
I mean, at some point, you just have to come to pit road. Kyle Larson had no fuel, couldn't accelerate. I think they're going to pit. I think they've seen enough in front of the field. The 11, the 19. Logano risks it, though. Hear the crowd respond. I actually don't hate this call for the 11 and the 19. You want to win a race, but you still have 2 drivers in there. Marty.
Steve, for both of the Joe Gibbs Racing drivers that came down pit road, the code was, hey, or the message was, if it stumbles, come down pit road. Truex felt it stumble. James Small brought him down. We'll see if these 4 fresh tires help him, Dave.
Message to Denny Hamlin was your teammate, Martin Truex Jr.
Getting ready for the restart again. LaJoie in that second row. Logano and Chase Briscoe making up row 1. Looks like the 9's out of fuel. He falls back. They're side by side for the lead.
48 looks like he's not accelerating as well as he had hoped. The 71 has some momentum battling up front.
Logano back to the inside. Chase Briscoe fighting on the outside. Logano drifts up the racetrack. He takes Briscoe all the way up out of the groove.
If Briscoe gets to him,
White flag here by 2, yellow's out, crap, stay field.
One more time, we're going to try overtime. They didn't get to the white flag, and you see the 4. Such a tough day for Josh Berry.
Logano, we keep seeing people run out of fuel. Can Logano even restart again?
Least amount of fuel toward the front is Joey Logano.
And Briscoe is not happy with Logano at all. Logano ran him way up the racetrack.
Heavy damage on the 54.
I want to remind the fans at home, this race was scheduled to go 300 laps. We've already completed 325 laps, and we still haven't got to the start of the overtime that ends this one.
I've missed the exit on the interstate, but I've never gone a whole nother county by accident. And everyone, like, the complexion has changed so much. Look at the cars back in this. Priest, Reddick, Wallace, Buscher. I mean, these were drivers that we really weren't even talking about, but after so many chaotic restarts.
Here's the accident. Josh Berry was sideways into the wall and then down. Back in the gas they go. Both get away clean.
Great restart for Logano. Now it's about hitting your marks. You don't have to defend. Just make lap time.
And do you have enough fuel? Tyler Reddick making the move on the high side all the way up to fourth. Down the backstretch, here comes Briscoe. Logano on the bottom. Briscoe drifting back. Here comes Reddick.
He is flying. He is going to get to the 22.
1 to go. White flag in the air. Next flag ends the race. Reddick to the high side. Logano drifts up. Logano looking for a win in 2024. Reddick, one more chance. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. He goes up the racetrack. Logano goes up to block. Off turn 4. Logano is going to win in Nashville.
Oh, yes, we did it! Yeah! Yeah! Hell of a job. Good job, guys. Yeah! 3 shots saving there, bud.
The gamble paid off.
It's unbelievable. Not just a perseverance, not just a calls by Paul Wolfe, but the veteran driving by Joey Logano. Forget the speed, the blocking, the protecting, but somehow stretching the fuel, you said it, Jeff, further than anyone else was able to do it. We saw Briscoe run out on the backstretch on that last lap. He had 3 laps more fuel than Joey Logano.
And it's still running. Bang.
That may have done it.
What more do you need?
He did the burnout.
You got to celebrate.
Don't discount. We talk a lot about the fuel mileage, but don't discount the move he made over in 1 and 2 to take Reddick, take it away from him. You know, Reddick had massive momentum coming to him, and Logano just said, nope, I'm going to take it away from you. And what a great drive.
And look at the emotion. Here's a 2-time champion. And he was fighting all season long, just right at the cut line to get into the playoffs. And now this win locks him in.
Just an insane finish here at Nashville Superspeedway. And Joey Logano, welcome to the playoffs. How confident were you that it would actually react and have fuel in it on that final overtime?
It's a good question for Paul, but I know into 3, my fuel light came on and it stumbled across the line, so that was definitely all of it. But so proud of the Shell Pennzoil Mustang team. It's been a stressful few weeks trying to get into the playoffs, and being able to win here is huge for our season. So felt great to get that. Boy, that feels good, Marty. I'm out of breath. You know, we had it won off of 4, and then the caution came out. I was like, oh my God, but you can't pit. Like, you kind of got to go for it. And boy, it was close, but you got to give a lot of credit to Roush Yates, not only building horsepower, but building fuel mileage. That's what won today.
Joey, knowing this was your shot, what were you willing to do to keep Tyler Reddick behind you?
I drive all over the racetrack, apparently, but I had to. He had tires there, and so just had to make different moves and go different places. And I'll tell you, when I went into 3 and I saw that light, I was like, oh no, I'm going to run out off of 4. And it just stumbled and spit and sputtered across the line there. Somehow I had enough for a little bit of a burnout, but I'm going to get pushed back.
I could tell the relief in your voice when you said, thank goodness. That's what your reaction was. How much pressure? Can you describe it? This takes off the 22 team.
So much pressure. You know, trying to make the playoffs is not easy these days with these next-gen cars, and everyone's so equally matched. And, you know, I made a lot of mistakes, even some tonight, and it's nice to be able to overcome. So I just got to thank Shell and Pennzoil, Hunt Brothers Pizza, AAA, Ford, everyone that helped support us all the way through, Coca-Cola. This is just it's a much-needed win for sure.
With an assist from Paul Wolfe, Joey Logano, the two-time champ, is now officially in the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs in 2024.